everywhere. Um, so y'all stay warm, stay safe out there. Tonight I'm gonna be talking about soul flames, soulmates and twin flames, and I'm gonna be doing a little love check-in reading for you guys. Figured it's perfect after Valentine's Day, and this is what y'all chose. So here we are. Hello, hello, and welcome to the Shawnee Show. I'm gonna jump right on into it because again, I don't want to make this video too long. Um, so First of all, I feel like the idea of twin flames and soulmates are definitely romanticized a lot more than they should be. Uh, One, soulmates are not just, hi, love, how are you? Um, it's not just people that you fall in love with and that you end up with. Soulmates can be your friend, it can be your aunt, it can be your siblings, it can be a teacher. Soulmates are more so people who come into your life and they're meant to bring a certain level of community and compassion to your life, meant to teach you something about yourself and bring you some type of karmic lesson. Um, Maybe even meant to balance you out in a certain way. Soulmates definitely can come and go, or they can be permanent fixtures. It just all depends on what type of soulmate it is. But just because someone is your quote unquote soulmate doesn't mean that you guys are supposed to be together and live happily ever after. Okay, just wanted to note that. And then with twin flames are so it comes from the belief that we used to be like two souls in one, because we didn't used to live in a world of duality where everything is left, right, up, down, masculine, feminine, um, spiritual, mental, like everything was just one. So in mythology, there was a point when we had four arms and four hands and four legs and 4 feet. So it was kind of like how animals were. We would be double that, um, because it took us a while before we were able to stand up and walk, and that shows in the theory of evolution. Anyways, outside of all that science and mythology, the point is those two souls were one. So there, as many soulmates as you can have, there's only one twin flame. One, only one. Okay, because only one other being can be the other half of your soul. Does that make sense, y'all? Before I keep going, um, so yeah, that's pretty much that on that. Twin flames have more to do with balancing out the dualities that you came here to master and bringing up karmic spiritual growth for you. Twin flame relationships are all about spiritual growth and enlightenment. It's not even romantic and sweet and like roses and sunshine. Usually, it has some type of abuse in the situation, whether it be verbal, psychological, mental, or physical. There's usually some sort of toxicity and codependent nature. One person is completely enthralled in the other in the relationship while the other person is running away. So you'll find that dynamic, if you will, in those types of relationships. Okay. Um, each soul, again, only has one twin flame, and the twin flame is said to be carrying the other balancing half of your soul. Twin flame meetings are for better or for worse. So, like I mentioned, these relationships carry so much high and low because this person has knowledge of all your vulnerabilities without even trying. They have knowledge of your ignorance without even trying. Um, they usually present themselves as total opposites, but something about them keeps pulling you in, pulling you in, pulling you in. And it's almost feels inescapable until you just get sick of it. And you're like, okay, I cannot put myself through this anymore. Um, so these relationships can be very draining if you are not on a level where you have enough spiritual awareness to be able to combat it. Because what it is you're basically being faced with your own demons, and spirit is like, here, battle it out, fix it, heal it. I'm gonna hurt you for the purpose of healing you. So yeah, that's what you'll experience with twin flame relationships. As we've gotten deeper into technology, as our spiritual enlightenment as a collective has enhanced, this idealism of twin flame has come back up and it's become more popular. And it's because all of us have some sort of psychic knowing and connection. Okay, it's innate in us, all of us. Some of us are more in tune with it than others. That being said, we can feel it. We can sense that there is another part of ourselves. Not necessarily that's missing because we're whole as we are, but there's a part of ourselves that needs balance, that needs acceptance, that needs help merging the dualities that lie within us. And sometimes it takes your twin flame to be able to push you there. And I strongly believe in that because I feel like I had to go through some shit with my twin flame to get where I am now. But I don't believe that these things should be romanticized. I just don't. I feel like twin flame relationships are toxic. To be 100% honest with y'all, I feel like it's toxic. It's so emotionally, physically, and mentally draining to the point where you just like, you go until you have literally nothing left, and then you're supposed to build back up. But like, if the other person isn't ready to build back up or ready to face that enlightenment, then you're just stuck there by yourself. And usually that's how it goes, because one person will be all enthralled in the relationship and the other person will be running away. And then as soon as those roles flip, it just becomes another cycle, and it's quite crazy, to be honest with y'all. I wouldn't recommend it. It's very ghetto. But you need to do it to awaken certain things within yourself. So if you have the opportunity to cross paths with your twin flame, I'm not telling you not to explore it. I'm just saying don't drain yourself trying to romanticize this idea of, oh my God, I need to be with my twin flame, because you cannot and be fine. Many of us, our ancestors have done it, okay? Just saying. So it's really like a yin and yang type of situation. You're really going to nurture and heal one another just as much as you emotionally break one another down. It's the embodiment of loss and mourning, as well as love and gaining, all in one. So it's really like a drug almost, because you become addicted to these highs and lows, because it's intense. It's really intense. But it really just brings growth, ultimately, that spiritual enlightenment and growth within yourself, to be able to take that leap and understand that, I do have these certain things within me that I need to bring closer to the surface, or that I need to work on. And that's going to help me to not only do better in relationships, but do better in my relationship with myself. So, does that make sense, y'all? Before I go on to soulmates, any questions? Okay. I'm gonna that was hot. I'm gonna keep going. Y'all can hear it. She did turn it down. Cece said turn the TV down.
Get out my business, CC. I can't turn it. It's on 9 already. Shit. And I got the captions on. I already can't hear. Leave me alone. Put your ear to the phone.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so soulmates. So soulmates are kindred spirits. When a soulmate comes into your life, it really just feels like a familiar spirit. It feels like someone that you knew, someone that you once knew, someone that you've known for a long time. It's really like a good karmic connection with soulmates. Soulmates can come in the form of soul partners, best friends, business partners, in-laws, co-parents, siblings. All these people really are here to bring support, to bring community, to bring kinship and compassion to your life. Um, Now, there are different types of soulmates, okay? There are different types of soulmates. Soul partners are going to be the ones that I just named: your best friends, your business partners, your in laws, your siblings, your baby daddy. These are people who you maybe made soul contracts with, so they've manifested again physically in this life, and you have to do things with them. Like maybe if you're a co-parent, you had to have kids with this person because they're meant to bring something to you and your kid's life. That's why you can't just be making everybody your baby daddy and baby mama. You got to be careful and make sure that you have that you're not bringing unnecessary soul contracts into this earth realm by having kids with someone who you don't have a soul contract with. um Business partners, business partners usually can bring something to the table. And don't be laughing at me, Jess. It's real. It's real out here. Um, they can usually bring something to the table, like some balance that you've been missing within yourself and the vision that you have for your business, right? So these people come and connect to you on a soul level as it relates to what you're trying to manifest of your ninth house, 10th house, sixth house placement, what you're here to bring to the world, what you're here to offer us in order for you to gain status and abundance, right? So siblings, some people are really, really close to their siblings, and you manifested here as siblings for a reason. You guys needed each other to get through the soul contract that you made with your parents, you know. So just depending on what that is, that's the soul partner connection, okay? And then soul ties are usually karmic soul connections. They come into our lives to shift us into a different direction and teach us certain things. Twin flame connections can also be soul tie connections. Or, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. What I meant was soul tie connections can feel like twin flame connections because it's very intense and it usually shakes you up in a way, and sometimes you don't even understand why you keep going back, and it feels addicting almost. But you got to cut that tie after you've learned the lesson. Otherwise, you're just repeating your karma for no reason. Past life soulmates are definitely people who we knew in a previous life, as simple as it sounds. Familiar spirits being reunited. And we all know someone like that. Soul crossings have to do with happenstance, impressionable meetings. Okay, so for example, maybe you're one of your teachers at a young age, like you didn't really know her, outside of school and her helping you, but she really had an impressionable impact on you. Like you'll always remember that specific teacher. That can be a soul crossing. Or the cashier that you met that told you something that stuck with you for life, or that video that you watch where the girl told you to read this specific book and that book changed the course of your life. Those are soul crossings. You're meant to be in those places at those times, and those things that you gain from those moments are fulfilling to your soul in some way. They awaken and enlighten you in some way. Am I making sense, you guys? Y'all literally ain't saying shit, but hey. Also soul teachers, okay? So a healer, a professor, a mentor that you connect with that really gets you a deeper understanding of not only yourself on a spiritual level, but the way that you can spiritually expand or mentally expand. Those are your soul teachers. That also is a form of soulmate. And then you have your soul family. So these are groups, organizations, and tribes that spark your spiritual interest and enhance your connection with your own soul and with your spirituality. So a lot of us are searching for our soul tribe. We feel like we haven't found our soul tribe yet. But when you're ready to initiate into your soul tribe, spirit will reveal that tribe to you, and there may be more than one. and you just have to find your footing. Okay, so that's pretty much that on that, you guys. I really didn't want to go too deep into this because y'all know me, I'm realistic. I'm a Capricorn at the end of the day. Even though I have all this Scorpio energy, I do believe that twin flames exist. I, however, do not believe that you are meant to be with these people. I feel like they're meant to teach you about enough about yourself to kind of break you down so that you can heal yourself and love yourself the proper way and attract the right type of love into your life. Some of us are fortunate enough to have soulmate connections. I do feel like me and my fiance have a soulmate connection. We've come in and out of each other's lives, and no matter how many times we've been apart, and we weren't even dating like that, literally just friends, but no matter how many times we've been apart, somehow we always come back together, and spirit just took its time, you know, creating a friendship for us and creating a foundation for us and allowing us to get to know each other, and then being like, boom, okay, it's time for y'all to be together. This is what y'all gonna do. And literally that's what happened, and we haven't separated since. So I just don't believe that things like that happen all the time. I'm not bragging to you guys. I'm just saying these are things to look for. You know what I'm saying? These are things to look for. These are things to be aware of, because it's not just like, oh, it feels so good, it looks so good, this must be my soulmate. Like, no, that's not how that goes. I never planned on dating this woman. Never did. Not once. Never did. Like, we was literally just supposed to be friends, and then I don't know what happened. I really don't. I could not tell you. I don't know. It's just something. It was literally like a switch flipped, and I was like, like, I don't know. It was crazy. So things like that will happen, and then you can believe that that's your soulmate. Like, okay, we keep passing, you know, spirit keeps bringing us back together, and it feels almost like I'm meant to be here. You know, like, I feel like I'm meant to kiss her every day. Like, I'm meant to wake up with her every day. It feels normal. Like, and I'm not that type of person. I'm an only child, and I'm a Capricorn, Scorpio, stellium. I don't like people. I like my space, you guys. But I'm saying,
I'm a motherfucking real one.
That's how intense it is, because it's like, it's effortless. It's not like, even when she's getting on my nerves, I still love her and want her around. And that's not normal. So, I mean, not normal for me anyway. So that's pretty much that on that. When it comes to twin flame connections, I do feel like I got to experience my twin flame at a young age, which was great for me because it taught me a lot, and it taught me what to expect in love and how to conduct myself and my boundaries accordingly. And I will never forget that. I'm so grateful for that. But it was hell, y'all. I went through hell in that relationship, and I would never want to encourage anyone to willingly put themselves through that unless you're absolutely ready. If I was as spiritually enlightened then as I am now going through that, it would have been different. But I was 18, 19 years old, and I didn't know any better. And so it became a narcissist empath situation, and that is abusive. And I'm telling you guys that twin flame relationships usually are toxic and abusive in some way, and you need to be ready for it, because you're gonna have to go to spiritual combat with your own demons and the demons of your twin. You're going head to head, and it's not cute, it's not romantic, it's not some I'm gonna run off into the sunset with my twin flame. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Yeah, you may end up together, but it's not going to be easy. You're probably always going to be breaking up and getting back together. And there's always going to be some type of dysfunction in the relationship, because it's too much. You don't get a break in that type of situation. And so it can be daunting, okay? That's my spiel on twin flames and soulmates. I'm gonna do a little collective love check-in reading. So here's the questions, you guys. I will reread them, of course, when I pull the cards. I'm tired. Can y'all hear it in my voice? Shadow work with twin flame relationships is real. Absolutely, yes. If you're not ready to do the shadow work, if you're not ready to basically turn life into your own form of BDSM through this relationship, it's not gonna work. And that may sound crazy, but Champagne Auntie, you just said that, so I'm pretty sure you agree with what I said. You can chime in the comments and let me know if that's a inaccurate analogy, because that's what you gotta do, basically. Yep. If you want to understand yourself and relationships a little bit more, and you want to get deeper into how the chakras operate in your body, in your relationships, in your mind, I would recommend this book, Anatomy of Spirit: The Seven Stages of Power and Healing by Carolyn Myss. This book is really good. It's not the, it looks like a big book, but really it's only like 280 pages. Like, if you're an avid reader, you can read it fairly quickly, but it is one of those books that you want to take your time with. But it talks about connecting the chakras and the tree of life, and how the merging of dualities with yourself and someone else in relationships, and learning how to treat other people the way that you want to be treated, like the power of that, and how it's a sacrament and a soul contract that we all have to fulfill. So I think it's funny how this is basically a part of our human experience, and this generation is kind of running away from this. Not saying that you got to be bound to one person, because you don't. Like I said, there are many soulmates, but at the same time, it's like, no one wants to have true companionship and depth and intimacy, and we need that as humans. It's a part of our functionality. If we don't have that, it can make us sick and we can shut down. And so I just thought it was interesting. I'm trying to find this passage that I wanted to read for y'all. Hold on. 134. It says the power of choice and relationships. Second chakra energy is extremely volatile because it seeks to create. It is also linked to the issues of physical survival, sex, power, and money, the currencies of relationships. As we set out to carve a place for ourselves in the physical world, our internal conflict between faith and fear is often buried underneath the survival issues that dominate our thoughts. Can I earn a living? Can I find a partner? Can I take care of myself? The shadow side of the second chakra issues consists of our most prevalent fears: rape, betrayal, financial loss and poverty, abandonment, isolation, impotence, and the inability to care for ourselves and those we love. Each of these fears has the power to control us and to direct our actions for an entire lifetime. In the language of the scriptures, these fears qualify as false gods. In order to learn about our motivations, to discover our personal false gods, we need relationships. To form a relationship, we use some of our energy or personal power. Once the relationship is formed, we may ask, often unconsciously, is this relationship drawing power from me, or am I drawing power from it? Where do I end and where does the other person begin? What is my power and what is the other's power? Am I compromising myself in exchange for safety or money or status? While these questions are essentially healthy in most relationships, we begin thinking in terms of psychologically divisive and conflict-inducing opposites: me or you, mine or yours, good or bad, win or loser, right or wrong, rich or poor. Symbolically, these conflicts represent most people's relationships to God. My power or yours. Are you really with me on this earth, or must I try to control everything myself? And even if a divine power is maneuvering behind the scenes, how do I know what choices to make? The primary conflict of faith is present in every one of our relationships. Paradoxically, our challenge is in manifesting these conflicts. Our challenge in managing these conflicting energies is to maintain them in the consciousness of the inherent oneness of the universe. We begin this journey by exploring conflict within relationships. Relationships generate conflict. Conflict generates choice. Choice generates movement, and movement generates more conflict. We break free of this cycle by making choices that transcend dualism and the perceived divisions between ourselves and others and between ourselves and God. So long as we focus on trying to control another person and forget that that person is a mirror reflecting back to us our own qualities, we keep conflict alive within ourselves. Seeing ourselves and others in symbolic unions, however, helps us accommodate differences. This is the symbolic meaning of the sacrament of communion. So, see, it talks about how relationships fuel the power of transformation. They give you the battery for change. Because if you can commit to accepting someone else wholly, if you can commit to accepting yourself wholly, then you can commit to accepting someone else wholly. And as a function of that, you create a stronger relationship with God or the God within you. You know what I'm saying? And that's really deep when you really think about it. I know that was a lot to read, but when you watch this back and you really think about it, that's really deep. And the fact that a lot of us have a tendency to run away from relationships, it says a lot about how we feel about ourselves. It says a lot about how we feel about our relationship with God and our relationship with the divine. It says a lot about how we feel about the God that lives within us. So I just thought I would share that. Spirit put it on my heart to share that part of the book with you guys. I'm going to pull for this little collective spread. The questions are, what do you want in love? What have you learned from love? What is the truth about who you are in love? And how can you love more freely? What do you need to release? Attraction, power, and advice. And then how can you better align yourself with what you want in relationships? So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. This is going to be a timeless pull for whenever you watch this video and you need these messages for love. I'm using the Animal Spirit deck, the Wild Unknown Tarot, and Moonology tonight, you guys. Okay. So, what do you want in love? You want someone who accepts your uniqueness. You want someone who appreciates you for who you are, flaws, quirks, and all. Okay. You want someone you can grow with and who can help you to expand the greatest parts of yourself. Don't we all want that in love? That sounds so beautiful and romantic. Um, but it seems like the thing that gets in your way is you're not following your intuition when it comes to love, okay? You are not listening to your higher self. You're listening more so to your flesh, and that's putting you in situations that don't allow for you to fully embrace the peacock in you, for you to fully embrace your uniqueness, your beauty, and your grace, okay? Because you're not listening to the high priestess that lives within you, that merges that duality, that brings that initiation of emotion and intellect, of mental and spiritual, okay? What have you learned from love? Well, you've learned that there are definitely plenty of fish in the sea, but you've also learned that there's power in fluidity. You've learned that there's power in fluidity and there is power in experience. And you needed to go through the things that you went through to get to where you are now. You know, you've learned that you can weather the storm, you can weather a little bit of turbulence in the water, but at the same time, that turbulence in the water, it brings truth, it brings justice, it brings forward movement. Y'all can't see this because there's a glare, but this is a 6 of Wands. Okay, so it brings healing, it brings spiritual awakening and enlightenment, and that's beautiful. What is the truth about who you are in love, and how can you love more freely? Truth about who you are in love is that you have a great heart. You definitely want to build, but a lot of times you tend to get distracted from love by being busy, by being focused on work, by being focused on what you're trying to create and what you're trying to build within yourself and outside of the relationship. Okay? But you can love more freely by holding on to your vision and understanding again that sometimes a relationship is the vehicle of change that you're looking for. It's the vehicle of change that you need to be able to go through. So just hold that vision. What do you need to release? Dang, did I not pull enough cards? Hold on, y'all. Where's my deck? I need to pull 2 more cards. Hold on, y'all. All right. So what do you need to release? 10 of Wands. The burdens of your past. It's time for you to move on and learn something else. Stop being so stubborn. You need to release your pride, your stubbornness, your inability to drop that baggage at the door. Sometimes it's worth carrying the burden, sometimes it's not. In this instance, it's not carrying the burden. You're creating a negative impact on your future relationships by carrying the burdens of your past. So you need to let that shit go. Attraction, power, and advice. Attraction power is you have the ability to teach and the ability to build. You definitely can assist someone in weaving this web. And some people may think of a spider web as a web of lies, but it's not a web of lies. It's a web of beauty. It's a web of knowledge. It's a web of home. You know, it's a web of security, of structure, of spirituality, a web of enchantment. So you have the ability to build that web, to teach, to give, to add, to bring karmic value on a good note to relationships. That's your attraction power. Attraction advice, it's time to breathe out. Just take a moment of stillness with yourself and ask yourself those questions that I mentioned earlier in the video. How can you better align yourself with what you want in relationships? Have faith in your dreams. Have faith in your dreams, because if you have faith in yourself and your dreams, and you can wholly accept yourself and love on yourself enough to make your dreams come true, then you can definitely put that energy into someone else. But at the same time, you can have enough discernment and wherewithal to find someone who's willing to pour that same energy back into you. Okay, so that's it, you guys. That's my spiel. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll definitely be here on Wednesday to talk about the astrology of the week and do a first quarter moon reading for you guys. Until then, I will catch y'all on the flip side, and I hope you all have a beautiful night. Again, if you're in Texas, my prayers are with you. I hope that you all are staying safe in this weather with these power outages. Good night.